Hey, what's up guys, Wavy Films here, and today I have another custom LEGO minifigure showcase for you guys. And for the showcase, I have my custom LEGO Avengers Infinity War project, part 5. And for this video, I have 3 new figures, Loki, Scarlet Witch, and Falcon. And I have 3 other figures that I've updated that I will show you later. Sorry if you can hear my chair, it's really squeaky, and it's really annoying, and I hope you can't hear it in the video. But if you can, I'm sorry. So, one thing I do want to address before I get into the showcase is that this is going to be the last Infinity War part for a while. There's not really any reference for later figures that I want to make, like Bucky or War Machine. If I do end up making the Black Order, it might be a bit later. But for those figures specifically, there's no reference for them, and a couple others, so I'm kind of on a little bit of an Infinity War pause. I definitely haven't made all the figures I want to make, I just have to wait for more reference. But I made these 3 figures, and I'm actually really happy with all 3 of these turned out, so let's get into the showcase. So starting off with Falcon, this is actually the 3rd version of Falcon that I've made. I made a really crappy original version, which I don't have a picture of, but then I also did make a 2016 version, for Civil War, which was one of the first showcases I uploaded here on YouTube, like 4th or something, but this is a entirely new version. On that figure, I used some same ideas, like kind of a similar leg design and the same head design, but for this figure, the thing I really want to emphasize was the wings. So I completely repainted the torso. I didn't use Lego's design or Lego's torso at all. I took a gunmetal torso just because that's kind of, I thought it was a good color. Painted it up. The style. His sleeves look weird because they are gray compared to gunmetal, because at the time of painting this I didn't have any gunmetal paint. And then the leg design was painted fully by me, and it does go around the legs like that. The wings are probably my most favorite part of this figure, and you can kind of see them right now. They're very, very poseable. So if we turn the figure around, you can see that he has this giant pack. Now it's not shape accurate to his actual backpack in the film, but it's definitely, I tried to get the most detail I could there. And it's magnetic. It removes right off the torso, clips back on, no neck brace needed, nothing like that. So there's actually a magnet. This is just like a 2x2 Lego brick, and there's actually a magnet embedded in the sculpt, which I sculpted over. This is the top piece of a neck brace, which I put on here, just because when it actually magnets to the torso, it magnets pretty low, so this is just there to hold it in place on the torso. The wings are the official Lego Falcon wings, because while they're not that detailed, I do like the shape and design of them. So I do have them on some simple ball joints, so you can pose the wings any way you like, and then just put them on. That was kind of my whole idea, and I do want to give a special shout out to JSparkySteel, Jason, because he did help me a bit with the design of these wings when I was talking it over with him, so I'll leave a link to his Instagram and YouTube down in the description. But yeah, you can take it off, and there's a magnet on the inside of the torso. If you look right there, well, it's actually a piece of the magnet, because the magnets I bought were way too big, so I just kind of cut a magnet in half and shoved it up inside his torso. Not much else to say. It's the official Sam Wilson Falcon head, which I painted hair onto because I just definitely was not a fan of the fin hair piece. And then he does have an E-tape gauntlet on this arm, E-tape belt, and that's about it for Falcon. Like I said, I really do enjoy the figure, and the magnetic wings. I was going to try and go for something cool there, but I do really enjoy the magnetic wings. The next figure is Scarlet Witch, and while we haven't actually gotten any reference as to whether or not she'll be wearing this suit in Infinity War, it's probably safe to say she will, considering on the poster and all the trailers she was wearing, like, civilian clothes, but I assume that she'll don this at some point in Infinity War or Avengers 4. If we take off these are just the... Oh my god, this chair's annoying. Alright, well I dropped one, but... If we take off these are just the Doctor Strange pieces, but with pink dishes instead of his printed magic ones. And the figure itself is actually heavily inspired by Benson Bones on Instagram, so I'll leave a link to his Instagram and figure down in the description. Meaning that, while I have sculpted a lot of chests before, I think the only time I ever showed that in a showcase was my Wonder Woman from my own DCEU. But I did it for Mira, then for Domino from Deadpool 2, then for that Wonder Woman, and now for Scarlet Witch. So I did sculpt it, which I was planning on doing, but I did see Benson Bones, and he also did sculpt it. He used cardboard or paper or something for the 3D jacket, and I wanted to use fabric. So I glued that around the torso and cut it, and I sanded in curves, and then I tried to match these to the curves, but because the fabric's so thick, it just kind of makes it look like a straight line. The hair piece, I did take a hair dryer to bend out the front pieces, just so that they would fit over the jacket, but it fits pretty tight. But as you can see, they are bent. Normally they'd be straight down. I do really like the likeness I got to Elizabeth Olsen with this head, and for the hairpiece, it was the Scarlet Witch hairpiece, and then I just painted it in a lighter brown color and kind of faded it into a more blonde color at the bottom, considering that's kind of her hairstyle, a more lighter hairstyle in Infinity War. Then it just was a matter of painting on the right details onto the arms and hands, and that's about it for Scarlet Witch. Pretty simple figure, but I actually really enjoy the what's that word called? The turnout. And lastly, the trickster god himself, Loki. So he wears the exact same outfit that he wore in Thor Ragnarok, so there wasn't that much difficulty getting reference. The only thing I did notice was that in the one picture, when he's on the Grandmaster's planet, he has a dark blue cape with gold or yellow on the inside, but when it's the final fight on Asgard, he has a dark green cape. I don't know which one he's wearing in Infinity War. I just gave him dark green because that was closer to the end of the film. So yeah, the headpiece was probably a Legolas head. That's what I use for most of these Infinity War figures. Yeah, it was. Okay. And I painted on the likeness of Tom Hiddleston. I've either had people really hate it or really love it, so I'd love to know your thoughts on this comments. I really love it, and I think it's spot on. I used the Qui-Gon hairpiece because it's kind of similar to his hairstyle, and I sculpted on the side of the hair. The sculpt's really terrible because I cannot sculpt hair for the life of me, but I think it works pretty well just for what it's supposed to work for. The torso was just dark blue, and then I just painted on the necessary lines. This little gold clip is E-tape, and then the legs are also painted. And then I do have E-tape gauntlets on the arms, along with some extra painted shoulder pad detail and gold detail. That's about it for Loki. A pretty simple figure, but he does look good with my other Infinity War figures. So now I have 3 more figures, which are updates. They're nothing new, but I just want to show you the updates on those figures. The first is my Steve Rogers Captain America, and that's really nothing that much. I just added these cuts onto his face after seeing my friend Yale 97 Legomaniacs Nomad, or Steve Rogers, or whatever you want to call him. I'll leave a link to Yale's YouTube and Flickr down in the description. He added the cuts on his forehead and on his lip, and I was like, why'd you add those? And he sent me a screenshot from the final scene of the original trailer where they're all running through the Wakandan jungle, and I never noticed that he had these cuts before, and so I just added them to give him a bit of a battle damage look, and it is thanks to Yale. So that's all I did, just the cut above his left eyebrow and under his lip. Next we have Black Widow. Now, like I said in the last part, the hairpiece that I had on her wasn't my original choice, and I did want this hairpiece. It's based off the Moose Figs. He used it in his design for his hairpiece that he put up Pyrrha's figure up on Flickr a while ago. And after looking over the images and stuff, it is inaccurate. I will admit to that. Her hair in the actual film and in the trailer is straighter, but on the concept art, if you do look, it is this kind of style, curly, 50-ish style. And honestly, I'm going to keep it. I know it's not as accurate, and the other one I had was more accurate, but I like it better for 2 reasons. One, just because it makes the figure look better overall. It works with the head better, and I just prefer this hairpiece. The other reason is because I waited 2 weeks for the hairpiece, and I bought it specifically for the figure, so I'm not going to change it. And lastly is my Tony Stark. While I didn't change anything on the figure itself, I did give him an accessory, as you can see here. This is the flip cell phone that Steve gives Tony at the end of Civil War, which he can be seen holding in the Infinity War trailer. I do really, I just wanted to do this for a little fun accessory, and it was actually pretty simple to make. I took 2 1x1 tiles and sanded down the sides and made them rounder around the edges. Then I glued them together like this, sculpted them together, and sculpted in the back of this one. This one I left the hole so that Tony can hold it. And then I just painted on the window on the front, and then the keyboard and the screen. So, pretty simple, but I thought it would just be a cool little item to add onto the Tony Stark figure. And I guess I'll just throw a shout out to Shane, DaLastPrime, for painting this Tony Stark head. I'll leave a link to his Flickr and YouTube down in the description. Alright guys, that's going to do it for part 5 of my Infinity War showcase. Like I said, not sure when or if the next part will be up, but be sure to look out for it. Next week, I don't know what I'm doing. Might be a tutorial, might be a showcase, depending on figures I have finished and what else I have done. So, I hope you enjoyed these figures. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. I'd really love to hear you guys' thoughts. And that's going to be it for the showcase, guys. Be sure to check out my social media where I post these figures way before I get around to posting them on YouTube and making a video. And that's going to be it, guys. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.